Brendan Fraser is not in this review of Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Brendan Fraser is not in this review, nor is he in Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Let's talk about it spoiler free. This movie, man, is so frustrating. I'm not going to mince my words. I found this movie to be so incredibly frustrating. I did not love this movie. I can't lie to you. I really enjoyed what Lee Cronin did with Evil Dead Rise. So I was cautiously optimistic for his take on The Mummy. What he does is he takes this big mythological monster that we've seen time and time again, and he kind of hones in and tries to make it a family drama. What he does is he kind of takes this and condenses it to a family drama. The inciting incident of this movie is that a journalist's young daughter disappears without a trace in the desert. 8 years later, the family is shocked to find that she is returned to them, but she is not okay. She's not okay at all. What I liked about this movie, I think Lee Cronin is a really good director. Cronin really has an eye. He has a vision. He loves a split diopter shot. Those looked really crisp and clean. They're a little overdone, but he has visual flair, and I think that's what makes this movie watchable. His visual style is really interesting, really gripping and entertaining, and it enhances what would be an otherwise fairly generic story. I also think if you're into like gory, gooey kind of horror, this is going to be up your alley. He does not shy away from that. There is some like gnarly moments of gore that I was actually like very impressed by. I think I'm kind of numb emotionally because I wasn't like super like rattled by it, but there's some good gross out moments. They're not a ton, but there's some gross out moments that stood out. My main problem with this movie is that it just feels like another Evil Dead movie or his crack at an Exorcist movie, and The Mummy is just kind of slapped over it to like incorporate that. Like, it doesn't feel like a distinct take. This is just another possession movie. I don't think he does anything new or interesting with The Mummy story. I don't think this is a super unique take. I saw where it was going every single step of the way, beat by beat. You know, it slowly unfurls and something's kind of off with Katie, and then as it goes on, like it gets more and more grotesque and creepy and evil. You know how it goes. I'm sorry, I also just keep giggling that The Mummy is just a little white girl named Katie. I thought that was fine. I also just think in 2026 we can get a little more creative than doing like a white family being cursed by the culture of brown people. I think we can think outside the box there. I do think May Kalamaui does bring like a lot of agency to her character. I really liked what she did. But yeah, I think that is like a tried and true trope, especially when it comes to like possession stories. I think there could have been a better way to like do that. I talked about May Kalamaui's performance. She was probably like most consistently my favorite. Jack Rayner and Leia Costa are kind of just going through the motions here. Natalie Grace does a really great physical transformation as Katie, the titular mummy. Really spooky. She really goes for it. And the other kids, Shiloh Molina and Billy Roy, are a lot of fun as well. It clocks in at 2 hours and like 15 minutes, and you feel every second of the runtime. It feels very repetitive. I feel like we could have done this in 90 minutes, you know? We're just doing the same thing over and over again. We're having the same conversations and not really advancing forward until like the final act, but by then I'm not invested. I also think the characters, for the most part, are so thinly written and kind of goofy. They're making really absolutely stupid decisions. It's very hard to root for them. I don't know. I think, again, very well made, but I wasn't scared. I don't know what people were talking about in the early reactions where they were like, this is so extreme. But I'm also like pretty numb to a lot of horror as I get older and older. Like, I really love horror, but it takes a lot to like jostle me, so I maybe am not the appropriate gauge for it. It might rock your world, actually. But I gave Lee Cronin's The Mummy 2.5 stars. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to another review. Make sure you do all the things you're supposed to do on a YouTube channel. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, follow me everywhere, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!